Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be picking my TBR for July, and I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. I've been in a bit of a book slump, a life slump, you can call it, and I kind of want more of a say in the books that I'm reading this month just because I'm mood reading more than I ever have. I've actually had, June will be the second month in a row that I have not finished my monthly TBR ever, so I'm not trying to pick books just to pick books. I want to have a little bit of a say. So even like the TBR prompts might be a little bit too specific, and picking series or picking books out of a jar might be too specific. So what I'm gonna do today, I've actually combined all of my books recently onto my shelves, read or unread, and I have 43 total shelves, but the 43rd shelf, and by shelf I mean like one of these, the 43rd doesn't have any books that I haven't read on it. So I'm only putting 42 into a spinner. There are some other shelves interspersed in between that I have read every book on, but if I get to that number, we'll just skip it and I'll remove that shelf from here when we get there. But I'm gonna spin, I have a spinner wheel and it has 42 numbers on it, and we're gonna spin 12 times, and I'm gonna get a shelf each time. And when I get the shelf, I'm gonna go to that shelf and pick a book off of there that I haven't read that I want to read. Sometimes I might not get much of a say, sometimes I may have a really big option, we'll see. But that is how I'm gonna do this. Let me know in the comments what books you're looking forward to reading in July. I don't think there's too many books coming out that I can think of. Let me pull up my little tracker. Honestly, I'm not even like looking at books coming out because I can't even read what's on my TBR. I have like 140 books on my TBR physically right now, and I'm just trying to get through some of those books and what I really want to read. I did a very good job with not reading too many books in them, although there are a lot of books coming out in July. Rose in Chains, I'm getting that by Julie Soto. The Women in Suite 11 by Ruth Ware. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I'm also getting that in a book box. Not Quite Dead, Holly Jackson's new book. You Belong Here, Megan Miranda's new book. Glorious Rivals, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Lana Ferguson's new book. And Wrath of Dragons, which I have pre-ordered, but I also have the ARC for, so I need to read that. But that's the second book in the, what's that series called? Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. So you should have seen my update about life recently and the fact that I am working on a lot of vlogs. I'm just working on a lot of them at the same time, so I'm not like finished with any of them, and I'm just very chaotic right now. So I thought, why not do a little bit of a chaotic way of picking my TBR? So hopefully I can easily manipulate the camera to show you the shelves as I'm picking from them. There are some that are in really awkward spots, but we'll do what we can. So without me yapping anymore, I haven't talked to a camera in a while, so I'm excited to talk to you guys. We'll spin for our first shelf. Also, I'm starting up in this corner with my, when I stare at the shelves, it's the top left. So that's where we're gonna start. Sorry about the lighting getting really weird. What does that say? Shelf 11. 11, okay. So shelf 11 is my Anna Huang shelf. And I do have a few books on here that I haven't read. King of Sloth, King of Envy, and then If the Sun Never Sets and If We Ever Meet Again, which is, I just said those in the wrong order, the first like series that she wrote. But I think this is a pretty easy choice for me because I'm trying to catch up in the Kings of Sin series. I just read King of Greed and I did enjoy that. So I'm gonna pick King of Sloth for my next book in that series and my first book on the TBR for July. The camera angle is going to constantly be changing in this. Okay, so we're not gonna remove that shelf. We're gonna keep it on there, and I could get it again, so we'll see. Could end up with 2 or more Anna Huang books. Let's hope it doesn't get too crazy. $23. So 6, 12, 18, 23. Oh, I'm so excited for the shelf. Let me double check that I'm counting right, not just really excited. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It is the right shelf. So this shelf has some of my favorite authors on it, my Allie Hazelwood collection, and then also Tara DeWitt and Ashley Poston. So this is a very difficult situation for me because I have one book from each of these authors on here that I haven't read. 2 of them are brand new releases. I literally just got this in the mail today, and I'm getting a different copy of it as well, so my sister will actually end up with that one. But I do think I know what I'm gonna go with because I gotta stand in solidarity with Allie Hazelwood and everything that she's gone through right now, and this isn't the only book by her I haven't read. So we're gonna go with Problematic Summer Romance for book 2. Y'all, this TBR is excellent so far. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. 3, we'll talk about all the books at the end because I could end up having to move this camera like all over God's creation. Oh boy. Number 1. Lots of options on this shelf, but they're all fantasy, which I haven't really been in the mood to read. Let me see if I can get that up. Okay, so they're all the way up there. So that shelf is all the way up there, and this is as high up as my camera goes. I have The Floating World, Goddess of the River, Hamajang Luck, Immortal, The Starlight Air, A Dark and Drowning Tide, Where Shadows Meet Until We Shatter, Firebird, Gods Below, Sword Heart, House of Dragon, God Killer, and A Curse of Blood and Wolf. So I've got a lot of options on this shelf, but I do think there is one in particular that I've been eyeing up just to get done. I don't particularly like really want to read it though, because I already started it and it was on my May TBR and I'm like that far into it. This much read. And I'm just like, I wasn't loving it. I don't know that I want to read that one or continue that one right now. Like I said, fantasy is just not it for me right now. I think I'm gonna go with Hamajang Luck because it is on my, I'm gonna hold it up here because I'm short. It is on my summer TBR, so I do want to get to it, and it's fantasy, but it's also kind of like a heist. So I think that could help me get through it, but it is on my summer TBR and the font is absolutely massive in this. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Hamajang Luck for this one. Number 3. Okay, book number 4. Oh, I don't like that that's happening now. It's like iPhone. Please don't pick number 1 again. Are you serious? All right, well, I'm not taking you back over there, but I think I'm going to pick a controversial book because this was also on my May TBR and I didn't get to it. But honestly, I really want to read it because I want to know. Firebird by Juliet Cross. This is extremely controversial. It was. There's so many other things that have been a controversy on Book Talk, Bookstagram since then, but everyone was like crying about this book being like a slave master and people didn't like that. But honestly, it's a dark fantasy romance. And this is how I think it was, and that's like a historical, slightly historical romance as well. So I think that's just how it was in that time frame. I don't know, but I read for fiction purposes, and depending on how this is done, I may like it, I may hate it, I don't know, but I'm gonna form my opinion. And yeah, that's where we are with that. But we'll talk about it more. Again, I've talked about it obviously in the May TBR, but I'm gonna talk about it very briefly again when we go over all of the books at the end. All right, number 5. Please don't pick shelf 1 again. I will remove it if you do. I need some variety here. $17. Is that the same? No. That'll be this shelf, right? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. We're going down again. I'm getting the same row. So, book 1 was picked from here. Book 2 is picked from here, and now we're on this shelf. And I already know what book I'm going to pick on this shelf. I don't know why I brought you down here. But I do have a few on here that are not read. But I want to read Phantasma. So this is the book we're going to pick. I'm making my mind up. See, this is what happens when I get to mood read, and I've been staring at books on my shelf. I'm picking books quickly because they're books that I've really wanted to read. So I'm going to be picking Phantasma by Kaylee Smith for book 5. Let's just spin down here as soon as I locate my phone. I'm sick of moving the camera back up. I'm gonna be really fuzzy. Is that number 1 again? Oh, no, okay, it says number 7. Okay. Okay, so back up at the top. It's gonna make me move the camera again. So there's only 4 books on this shelf, but they're all unread. And again, I already know which one I want because they're all fantasy, but there's one in particular I really want to read. I just knocked that one over. And that is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. Yeah, this is a YA. Again, should be a quick read, and that's what I'm going for right now. I want books I'm excited about. I want books that are going to be quick reads for me to hopefully get through a TBR this summer. But we'll talk about it again when we're at the end. But I've been looking forward to reading this book for about a month or 2 now, ever since it came out. No, ever since I bought it, which was like beginning of May, I think. So it's been about 2 months that I've had it, and I've really been wanting to read it. So glad I got a chance to pick it. We're gonna stop moving between because I'm lazy. So that was number 6, so we got 6 more to pick. I really shouldn't be picking 12, but to be completely honest, I did my 18. I did my, what's it called? My journal, like I pre-do my journal at the beginning of the year, and it has 12 slots in it for TBR. It is pouring. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm so sick of rain. So sick of it. So number 18 is the bottom shelf back where we just were. So please hold while we go back down. So you can like barely see this, but it is a romance shelf. I've got a Catherine Center book. I've got Hello Stranger, Julie Soto. I still have a few days left in the month of June, and I really want to try to read this in June, so I'm going to put that back. Throttled, Not Safe for Work, and oh, I know what I'm reading. We're not even playing this game. I'm going to stand back up. Again, another book that I've been foaming at the mouth to get at, and that is The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Yeah, another recent purchase, but you know what? The wheel is letting me pick those, so we're gonna keep on keeping on with that. Am I emotionally ready for this? Probably not, because I'm not emotionally ready for much right now, but we're still gonna do it because I really want to read it, and it will fit in with a vlog that I'm in the middle of filming. So I don't even have to plan a new vlog because I was planning on reading this in one of the ones I'm part of the way through filming anyway. So, all right, number 7, spin again for book number 8, or shelf number 8 to pick book number 8. Please don't make me go in the other room. 26. 24, 25, 26. I think this is 26. Let me double check the count. I gotta respin because I've read all the books on 26, and just so you know, I'm not lying. This is shelf 26, and I've read all of Caravel, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and Powerless is missing because my sister has it, but I've read that whole series as well. So we'll remove that one and spin again. Like I said, there's not a lot of shelves that I've read all the books on, but there are a few. 34. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Well, that's rude. There's only one book on the shelf that I haven't read. This is karmic because this is on my June TBR, and I know I'm not going to get to it by the end of the month. So it's just going to get shoved on over into July. I'm not excited to read this. I just know it's going to take me forever, so it's not a book I've been reaching for because I don't want books that I know are going to be like slow paced for me, but that's fine. I'm okay with it because it'll finish out the trilogy, and I do want to know how it ends. Again, I'm not emotionally ready for it, but we'll survive. Final book in the Mistborn trilogy, the original Mistborn trilogy. All right, we're going to spin for number 9. If I get a book in the other room, we might wait and go pick that last and then just do the wrap, like the wrap in there. And I just jinxed myself. So shelf 41 out of 42. No, there's only one book on that shelf I haven't read. I'm just going to take the camera in there real quick. So this is that bookshelf. It's a small one. It's got like all of my nonfiction reads on it. And that is the shelf that I've read everything on. So I didn't include it. That would have been shelf 43. So 42, 41. The only book on this shelf I haven't read is The Anxious Generation. So I feel like a golfer because the first half we were doing great. I was picking a lot of books I really want to read. And now I'm just like, oh boy. So we're going to remove that choice because again, I've read every other book on that shelf now. So that was 9. So we still have 3 more. Shelf 11. That's Anna Wong again. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna pick King of Envy. I'm not gonna move the camera. King of Envy. So we'll catch up in this series. This is the final book that's out for now, and the next one doesn't come out until April, I think, of 2026. So that'll at least get me caught up in a series, which I was supposed to be spending June doing. I did not. Whoa, what happened to my spinner wheel? Okay. Well, it added all the numbers back on, so let's just hope it doesn't do that again. I don't know, it like all went blank. So we have 2 more books to pick. I'm excited about King of Envy because I've actually heard a lot of great things about that book in particular, especially since a lot of people haven't loved that series. 25. So that would be this shelf. Yeah, I read everything up there too. That is the Shadow Me series, This Woven Kingdom, and The House of Marion. I've read all of those. Feels good when I'm hitting. You're getting a mini book tour as well, like a bookshelf tour as well, but I'm not in love with how everything's laid out right now, but it is what it is. 13. I've read everything on that shelf too. That is Fear the Flames, Fire in the Sky, Heavenly Body, Smoke and Scar. Love that book. Shield of Sparrows, also love that book. That's coming in a vlog that I'm filming. A Tempest of Tea, Night of the Witch, and When the Moon Hatched. I've read all of those, so remove. Spin again. It's going to take me an hour and a half to get the last 2 books. Go away. The last 2 books. Just going to get all the shelves I've already read. I honestly think so. Because that's this shelf. And this is my Shadow Hunters. I've read all those too. She just announced a new one. It's like a short story collection. It's coming out in like December. I'm so excited for it. And it's going to have like all of the different universe people. 12. At least there's books on the shelf that I haven't read. So we've got Love and Other Words, Summer in the City, and then these books. I think I'm going to read Summer in the City. I don't even know why I brought you down here. I knew what book I was going to read. This is also on my summer TBR, so at least we can make some progress on that list. And then our 12th and final book? Yes. I'm actually pretty happy with this list. $26. Did I get that number already? Yeah. That's the Fearless shelf. Remove. Why are we picking like all the books shelves that I've read off of? Okay, so that is the other nonfiction shelf. That is the final shelf. And I can tell you there's 2 books on that shelf that I have not read. Jeremy Renner's biography and Blink 182's Mark Hoppus's. And I think I'm going to read that one because I'm going to see them in September and I wanted to read that before I go see them. So we're going to have 2 nonfiction books. Just what you need when you're in a book slump, please hold. So we'll go through all 12 books now, starting with the one that I just ran to go room to get. And that is Fahrenheit 182 by Mark Hoppus. This is his memoir. He is one of the lead singers and the bassist for Blink 182, which is a punk rock band that was really popular in like the 90s, early aughts. And they are still around. Obviously, I'm going to see them. They're still releasing music. Mark had cancer a few years ago, and he's in remission now, so he has beaten it for the time being, hopefully forever. But one of my favorite bands of all time. I just adore their banter and just the way that they are still children, even though they're like in their 50s. But adore them. He is a funny goon, so I'm very excited to read this. Also, the writing in here, and oh, there's so many pictures. Not very upset about having to read this now that I just like actually opened it. So looking forward to diving into this and then having it read before I go see them in September. The other nonfiction I have is The Anxious Generation, which actually won the Goodyear's Choice Award last year for nonfiction, I believe, which is how it got on my radar. And it's just about like the rewiring of childhood. So basically all these kids coming up now, basically the people born a little bit after me, because I did not have a lot of technology growing up. We didn't really even have a computer in the house until I was like older. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 13, and it was a flip phone. It didn't do anything. So it's a little bit different. Yes, I had technology more so than a lot of generations, but not as much as like Gen Z and like the later millennials. So this will be one that I just read a little bit over the month. I'll probably start with Mark's and then start into this one. Hopefully I can finish them both like over the course of the month. I usually don't read a nonfiction book like in one sitting. It's just not how my brain doesn't operate that way. So clearly it won the award for a reason. So I'm hoping that it is still like very fascinating and interesting. So that's number 2. I'm trying to stack these in a way that they don't fall down. Number 3, we're going to talk about this real quick, which is Firebird by Juliet Cross. Like I said, it's a slave-master relationship. He sees her in the midst of a war, and he is like a dragon shifter, I believe, and his dragon like claims her in his dragon way, and then she ends up being like one of his slaves later on in her life, and that's all I know. And that's really only because it was controversial. I probably would have gone into this blind had I not known, because there's a dragon on the front and a dragon on the tail. So I love a dragon book. Then I have Hamajang Luck, which again, I don't know too much about, but there is a heist involved, and it's like, I think more of an urban fantasy based on like what the inner parts look like. Like there's a lot of like cyber stuff. So I have not seen too many reviews. I don't think I've ever seen anybody talk about it, and I haven't really looked too much into the reviews, but I got it in a Illumicrate box. So it's 8 Misfits, 2 X's, 1 Last Heist. I loved the Six of Crows series. I like a heist. I like high stakes kind of things like that. So I'm hoping I really enjoy that. We'll see. Then I have Alex Astor's Summer in the City. This is, I believe, fake dating. He's a techie guy. She's an author who's like in a writing slump, like writing block situation. And they fake date for her to have inspiration and him to have somebody to take to like parties and stuff with him, because he doesn't really want to date, and I believe they're neighbors. And I don't know if they accidentally hooked up, and I don't know. But I love Alex Astor. Very excited to read her first romance book. It's also very short, so love a short and snappy book, especially when you have things like this monstrosity. The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. It is the final book in the original Mistborn trilogy. The Mistborn series is part of the Cosmere, his Cosmere universe, and the magic system in this revolves around metals and people ingesting metals and being able to burn them in their bodies to have specific powers. That is all I'm going to say. We follow Vin and Elend. Those are our 2 main characters. There is a subplot of romance, but it really is like a more epic fantasy, and I do enjoy that from time to time. I really enjoy Brandon Sanderson's writing. There is a little bit of humor in there, but these are just very densely filled, thin pages, and it is a very long book. It's like almost 600 pages, so I'll get through it. I really do enjoy his books, and they're not hard to read. They're just very long, and you have to be paying attention, so they're not like a read before bed kind of book. I usually read them with like a romance at the same time. Then we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This is a standalone set in the same world as Magnolia Parks, but this follows Georgia, who comes back to South Carolina from London because her father has died and they're getting his affairs in order, and her family's just got a lot of drama. She's got a gay alcoholic brother, and she meets his AA sponsor, and I think her brother also has feelings for this sponsor, but they both I don't know. I think there's a little bit of a love triangle. I'm not 100% sure. I have seen people sob over this book, so I will have to be in a good mindset. She also has a new book coming out, like, that she just announced that's, like, coming out, I think, in a few weeks. So this will catch me up on her backlog, because I have read Never as well, and I'm caught up in the Magnolia Park series. So I'll have to pick that one up once I finish this as a treat for, like, catching up on her backlog. Then we have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, and this has been equated to, like, a little bit like The Bachelorette, but in like Regency time, and it is like, I think there's fairies and stuff involved, and these girls can make bargains to make themselves more appealing to be wives, but they have to like give something up, and the queen announces that her son is going to be entering the like season this year, and these girls have a chance to like win his heart, and it's like, what are they willing to bargain to get the upper hand? That's all I know. That's all I want to know. It is, again, a YA book, so hopefully it'll be a very quick read. It's not very long, but I've really been looking forward to reading that. We have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I've heard it's like Dark Caraval. We'll see. I am going to be hopefully meeting her in September at Romance Con. She is going to be there, so I did buy Phantasma as well as Enchantra to be able to get her to sign them. Because I was just originally going to read these on my Kindle, but when I saw she was going to be there, I wanted to buy the books to be able to get them personalized or at least signed. And the special editions that I've been eyeing up aren't going to be out until like December, so that's not an option. But I know this is like a game. There's sisters. It is a dark romance with a little bit of fantasy in it. So excited. Didn't really want to read it in the middle of winter or in the middle of summer. I would have rather read this in like the fall, but I do want to read at least this one before we go to that convention. Problematic Summer Romance by Miss Allie Hazelwood. Age gap. They're on vacation in Italy for her brother's wedding. It's her brother's best friend. He's older, significantly older. But there's just like a very strong attraction between them. That's all I really know. That's all I need to know. You don't have to tell me anything. Like, Allie Hazelwood could just be like, here's a book, and I'll be like, absolutely, I'll read it. I don't care what it's about. It could be about how she walked her dog that day. I don't even know. But yeah, very excited to read that. Heard good things about this one. before y'all started bashing her on the internet. And then the final two books are books 4 and 5 in the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang, King of Sloth and King of Envy. This will catch me up. This one is, oh, this is the, okay, so this is like, he's famous and she's his publicist and he drives her like up a freaking wall. We've had them a little bit in like their interactions in the past few books. I've heard terrible things about this, but I've actually been really excited for this book because of the like little Easter eggs we've been getting, little snippets of them we've been getting. So I'm a little confused because I would think that this might be one of my favorites, but unless it's just not done in a way people liked. And then this one is like they are not supposed to be. It's like forbidden because I think she's engaged to somebody else. Yeah, she's engaged to his oldest friend, and the closer the wedding looms, the more he's torn between loyalty and desire. And I've heard great things about this one. So this will catch me up until King of, what am I missing? We've had Wrath, Pride, Greed, Sloth, Gluttony. It has to be Gluttony because I think Lust is going to be the last one because I don't think that one has a release date. So I think it's King of Gluttony comes out next year. So we'll be caught up until then. And I can start reading her first series before The Defender comes out, which is the next book in the like soccer series that she has, The Gods of the Game. So these are the books. You can't see them all. I'm sorry. I'm not in frame enough for you to see them all. But these are the books I will be hopefully reading in July. Hopefully I can get through this TBR because it's just not been well. So thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know what books you plan on reading in July, what books you're excited about that are coming out in July. A lot of these are romance, which is great. That'll help me get through them because that's what I've been wanting to read because I just want quick, kind of mindless reads right now, and heavy fantasy is just not doing it for my brain. So hopefully I can get through this one and have a win for the first time in a few months, but we'll see. I will hopefully be able to post more vlogs as well, just getting through books as I plan them. So thank you again so much for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope to see you all in the next video.